can remember it like it was yesterday. I was on fire. The basketball hoop seemed like a garbage can. Every time I dribbled up the floor, popped a shot, it dropped from wherever, anywhere in the spot that I worked on, it was falling. When the final buzzer rang, 34 points for this guy right here. Don't mind that I was only in 5th grade and it was just a basic local grade school tournament. But 34 points is 34 points any way you cut it. So after the game, many of my teammates were coming up, slapping hands. Parents from my teammates were coming up and telling me that it was the best performance they had ever seen from a 5th grader. Now, granted, we were only 2 years into basketball, so they didn't see a whole lot of performances, but still, I was on top of the world until my dad came up. So I go up to my dad, and I slap his hand jacked, ready for him to be just as jacked, and he said, "Great game, Luke. Yeah, it was a good game. You played really hard, and actually, it was a lot of fun to watch." Fun to watch? Of course it was fun to watch. I scored 34. Inside my head, I'm like, was he even there? And then he goes on to decide, where do you want to go out for lunch? As if that's the biggest topic of conversation. And so I'm bewildered because some of my friends literally got paid for the number of points that they had. I wasn't asking for a Benjamin. I was asking just for a lot of excitement. And so fast forward into my next game. About 3 hours later, we're back on the court. And I'm expecting to live up to the earlier hype that I had. Not even close. In fact, it was probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my basketball career. Not hitting a shot, becoming exhausted because I worked harder and harder and harder, and then ended up bouncing the ball off my toe into the crowd for a turnover, fouling out of the game with 5 miserable hacks, and in the end scoring just a few measly points and us losing to a team that we should have beat. Now, what's funny is after the game, none of my teammates this time came up to share or congratulate me. No parents did, and if they were, I had my head down, and I was going for one person, my dad. And when I got to my dad, he opened up the one arm, kind of cool way to hug your son, and just said, "Come here, it was a tough one. Great work, you hustled, and actually, it was still fun to watch you play." And what I learned right there was nothing. It didn't connect with me until now. I have my own son. His name is Drew. Some of you have met him. And what I know is that my dad taught me a very important lesson that many other kids didn't get the privilege to learn. And that was that my worth to him did not even get influenced by how many points that I scored on a basketball court. And while my personal identity as a 5th grader was tied so closely to how many points I scored, to him, he showed me that who I was and watching me play was enough. This is unconditional love to the greatest, because what I've now reflected on is that throughout my life, that was a common theme. When times went well, I opened myself up to all the feedback. I put myself out there to everybody. But when things went, well, terrible, I always could come back to my dad, knowing that regardless of what I did, regardless of the outcome, his love was consistent. Now I know my dad, just like for my son right now, wanted it so bad for me. But he put that second to showing me that his love was consistent. And my question is, who is somebody, as you look for your true mental toughness model, who is someone that loves you unconditionally? Who is someone that you don't need to prove yourself or earn your worth to show them that you're valuable? Who is that person? And that's the person that I want you to identify as your true mental toughness model. Good luck. I hope you can find that person. If you need help finding that person, please reach out because you have them in your life.